Right, here we go. So welcome to day 2 of the conference of the British Association for Psychological Type. And delighted to have you here in this session. And I'm especially delighted to be introducing Harumi Gondo. I've been practicing how to say her surname. I'm not sure I've quite got it right, but I shall keep practicing. It's Harumi's first time of speaking at our conference, so it's especially nice to have her here. And she's been doing wonderful work in Japan, as many of you know, spreading type knowledge amongst women and I think some men in Japan as well. So she's going to talk about how she's built a type community in Japan. One other thing, Harumi is going to run through her slides and we'll take questions at the end. However, if there's any burning questions, pop them into chat and I'll try to keep an eye on them for you. So, yeah, so over to you, Harumi.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Oops. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to see the video. Your video is just my slides. So I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable, as you know, when we can't see people's facial expressions. But I'm just going to go through it. And I'm ENFJ, FE dominant. So there's going to be one slide where I'm going to get super detailed about relationships and connections. You don't have to follow along with all the details there. I'll tell you when we get there, but you could just even like zone out. But I'm going to get super detailed in telling connections. It's a FE kind of thing. But I'll be explaining about mainly, I run two organizations. One is Type Lab, which is an NPO, and then 16 Type, which is the for-profit arm. But I'm mostly going to be focusing on Type Lab, which is a type community specifically for Japanese moms. And the agenda, I'm going to try to get through it quickly so that there's time in the end. But I'll go over our April calendar. I'm going to explain really quickly about the kids' park play session that we had this Tuesday. So it's very fresh, 3 days ago. And then how it is living in Japan. This is my subjective view as a Japanese mother. A little bit about Type Lab, history of Type Lab, our team, and then their roles, Type Lab members and their connections, our system, our resources, a little bit about 16 Type, which is a for-profit arm, and then lessons learned, specifically focusing on the functions. But this is our calendar this month. As you can see, we're quite busy. On the 5th, we had the kids' park play session, which is where we had 12 moms, 6 staff members, and then their kids, and they're playing, and we're talking type with the moms while the kids play, watching, and trying to dissect what type they might be or about the mom. On the 6th, this is not a Type Lab event, but we had the Japanese schools all over the country had their entrance ceremony, and this just shows the formality or the conformity that happens in Japan. On the 11th, advanced TE session, this is coming up. I'll be running with trainees. There's 4 things that we have just with our team. One is Instagram training. We're doing like marketing, Instagram training, trainer session, which is more time when it's kind of like our team's therapy session. We have about 3 hours blocked off where we just discuss communication issues. There's sometimes crying, fighting, laughing, but this is the time when we really connect as a team. Couples session, Kasai, which is this kind of city that we live in, area. Kasai Type Day, T-Type gathering, let's chat about TI. So there's all kinds of events that we have. Funabori, which is another region in our area, which is every Thursday. On the 20th, we'll also have a team and staff lunch, another gathering with a lot of different types. Let's research type and development course. This is happening on the same day. And then on the 27th, we have our regular kind of logistics meeting. This whole calendar that we set up this in February. So 2 months in advance, we always discuss what we're going to do in the next 2 months. So this is on the 5th we gathered. It's spring break, so more moms than usual. But this is a lot of this is a very common types that come to a lot of our gatherings. One conversation that I remember, two notable conversations was with this woman here. ISFP. She just recently learned her type, but she thought she was a ETJ, extroverted thinker J, judger. But through the course of the conversation, she has 3 kids. She's a working mom, working full time, has 3 kids under the age of 5, very stressed out person, and high, lots of pressure to accept all invitations, to be extroverted, to be scheduled. This is very common for Japanese moms, like write down the exact time that your child woke up, or like what time do you breastfeed, and work with the schedule. The schedule is very good. This kind of thing is very like drilled into, especially, well, all Japanese people, but especially moms. And so we discovered that probably she may not be ETJ, but ISFP. Another conversation I remember just a few days ago was with this mom, ISFJ. She's been coming to our sessions for maybe over a year, but her kids seem extroverted intuitives, and this is very common with SFJ, especially SJ moms, where they think their kids have ADHD. They take them to lots of counseling, therapy. What's wrong with this kid? Just constant worry. This person will not be able to adjust to society, be accepted. So lots of pressure there. This is a video that I took. They're all speaking Japanese, but this is they wear, for safety reasons, we have orange. This is a trainee ESTJ right here. I don't know if you can see. And then this is ISTJ. They're playing this very common game in Japan. You can see the sakura in full bloom. And I like this video because you're gonna see the ISTJ trainer. She's like making them follow the rules, which I think is funny. It's very cute. Right here. So the kid was saying stop, stop, but then she's also like stop, stop, stop. So I thought that was very cute. This is, so just to explain a little bit about Japan, this is from 2 days ago. So a lot of our trainers' kids entered school, and it's a very formal situation. Everybody has the same kind of like different colors, but same kind of backpack. This is elementary school entrance ceremony, and then this is a high schooler right here. You might have heard this proverb, the nail, it's a very famous Japanese proverb. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. Yeah, I'm Japanese. My parents are Japanese, but I grew up in the States. I never imagined that I was going to live in Japan. So my husband is Japanese, and I didn't think we would live in Japan, but he decided that he wanted to live in Japan. So if I was going to be with him, then I had to move to Japan. And that was probably one of the most difficult things that I ever did in my life, to move here. And it was a very depressing, difficult time. And I think especially as an FE dominant, wanting to be accepted, wanting to be liked, to get along and not to be seen as different was very important for me. So it was actually a very shocking experience to be here. So many times, even still now, sometimes I feel like I want to like run down the street screaming. Just to be like, no, I don't want to do that, or things like that. But I remember, I said it in my short YouTube clip as well, but there's this bakery right near me. I actually walked by this morning. It's about 8 minutes from my house by walking. And so this bakery, the way, it's very narrow, it's very popular, it's very narrow. So there's this island in the middle, and you have to walk around it to get to the cash register. So it's kind of like you're waiting in line, and then you pick up the bread you want. So this was like within 2 years of moving to Japan, and I got how this bakery works. So I remember standing there, and there was a woman who was weaving in and out of the line. So I in Japanese, I told her, well, this is the line. So I mean, I didn't want to like, I just wanted to like give her advice so she could fit into the bakery, the social rules of the bakery. And she's like, "Oh, you want my space, right? Go ahead." And I was like, "No, no, no, I don't want your space. I'm just telling you this is how it is." And she's like, "You want my space, right?" And I was like, "No, no, no, I don't want your space. I don't want your space." And she's like, "No, no, you want it, right?" And then the woman behind me, I remember so clearly, she spoke around me to the woman in front of me and said, it's in Japanese, "Ignore her. She's a weirdo." And the word in Japanese is hen na hito. Hen na hito basically means nonconformist, weirdo. She said, "Hen na hito dakara, just ignore her." And this was such a shocking experience for me, but I got right. I mean, I got like, oh my God, this society, we must conform. I mean, that was so kind of very clear to me. and and then right around this time, my daughters entered the kindergarten. So there's two types of like childcare in Japan. One is daycare for working moms, but traditionally people put their kids in kindergarten, which is a 3-year process. And as someone who has been through this process, I mean, I'm really, really proud. I think this is one of my life accomplishments that I actually, what I did was I fully conformed to it. I mean, I have fully, like 200%, I did everything that was required. I had a good friend that I made in the first 2 weeks, ESFJ. Basically, I copied how she spoke. I copied how she walked, everything. I just copied her. There would be these monthly or not month, maybe like quarterly lunches that we didn't have to go, but usually people went, and I would go to every single one, and I just totally embraced becoming a Japanese kindergarten mom. And this is actually how I learned to be Japanese, through this process. And but I also noticed that there's so much gossiping about people who are that henna hito, nonconformist, right? That person is late, she's a nonconformist. And so if you want your kids or you to be accepted, you had to conform. That was very strong. And I remember another time I spoke up, like I gave my opinion, and then this woman looked at me really sharply. I mean, these are just like these small little things, but I was like, oh my gosh, we're not allowed to say our opinions. Just wear a mask and just pretend to be like everyone else. That was highly encouraged, I think, especially for Japanese mothers, if you want your kids to survive as well. But this is also where I made friends. I made a lot of friends, and then I started inviting people. And this is where Type Lab started, through conforming, totally conforming. So just really quickly about Type Lab. Yeah, our team has 9 type trainers, 4 trainees, 8 volunteers, 80 paid members, 242 registered women, and then last year we ran 401 sessions online and in person. Our system is kind of like this. It's on our website as well. But first you find out your type, and then there's type gatherings, like 2 or 3 hours where you're just doing EI or NS activities, discussion. The functions, we totally learned the functions. And then there's also this development course. It's called Seicho course, which is with the same members, like 4 to 10 members, learning the functions together twice a month, 10 times. So it's about a 6-month course. And I've run about 30 now. And then finally, there's our trainer course, which is to become a trainer. And just to really quickly moved to Japan in 2011, enrolled my daughter in kindergarten, received MBTI certification in the US, and then almost from the very next day, I just I did a session for my friends in America, and then the next week I came back to Japan. I went to the US to just to be certified, and then I just started running the sessions. I didn't know what I was talking about. I mean, I feel sorry, so sorry for those people. Some of them still come to the sessions today, but yeah, I feel sorry because I didn't know what I was talking about. But it was during this time also when I realized that just the four letters is not enough, because I would see these parts, like what is this P part, or what is this T thing, like what's going on here? And then that's when I learned the functions with Bob and McAlpin, and that was life changing. And so I was like, oh, we need to instill this into type. It's not just about 16 type, but really about growth and developing yourself. Started teaching the development course, which is the 6-month course with the cassette group. In 2018, registered type lab, started the type certification. I'm saying this really lightly, but I wanted to give this all up probably 10,000 times. Yeah, so many times where I just wanted to give up, but just to keep going, keep going. I wanted to build a type community. 2020 started 16 type, which is the for-profit arm. And this was a bit hard, but just pushing through the annual membership fee. And last year, I think in November, I ran my last type lab course. Now I only do courses for 16 type, which is the price is very different. This is not for the NPO. And the interesting thing that one thing that I learned that I also teach my team is the importance of course, building experience and then getting paid what your experience level. So I was doing this NPO and I did gain a lot of experience, but at some point, I started to feel like I was charging way too little, and that's when I started 16 type. And the type lab course is 6 months. So 8 months before I decided this is going to be my last type lab course. And then I remember on the very last day of this course is when I contracted 3 company trainings. And then from there, I'm not doing as much NPO courses. I'm leaving it to the team. But my company trainings have increased a lot. And I feel like that's because I took steps to take care of myself financially. This is my team. So really quickly, this is me. Everyone has their own special role. This is Akiko-san, ISTJ. She has a ISTJ Moms Club, and her mission is to to help ISTJ moms to kind of break out of their shell of what you have to do. That was very meaningful for her. And this is Akane-san. She's also ISTJ. She does these YouTube videos. Catherine, I'm gonna slides again. So,
okay, and I know, Harumi, you probably couldn't see people's faces while you were doing that, but yeah, we were all laughing and smiling
okay.
at those.
Oh, good. Okay. So yes, Akane-san does a really great job with the videos. This is Kimiko-san. She is starting a new branch in Fukuoka. It's another city in Japan, and she also does our online newsletters. This is Ayumi-san. We're collaborating with the Working Mothers Association. So she's a working mom as well. She's working full time, so she's focusing with working moms. This is a really cool collaboration that just happened this week, actually. We've been talking about it for a while, but this is Eri-san. She's ESFP. She's been studying type for about 5 or 6 years. She has her own like Bollywood dance circle for moms, and what she's gonna do is a lot of dance clubs like this with women, they fall apart because of relationship problems. So what she wants to do is it's a weekly dance class, but to instill type. So every 2 months, she'll have a trainer, and we're having Tenumi-san, who is INTJ. She wants to do it as well. She's going to learn, so she's also going to be the trainer and dancer. So it's like growing together, dancing together, exercising together, but also growing together with type. This is Masako-san. Also a newly formed group, but she's going to do a Kasai community. This is Erika, INFJ. She's the community manager, and she's running the Funabori community, which is nearby as well, 20 minutes from where I live by bike, every Tuesday. And then ISFP Yusan, she's in charge of the kids session, and she came up with these orange overall things. And it's been so amazing to see her leadership growing as well, in terms of planning and really creating an ideal kids session. So this is the staff and their different roles. This is a video that we made. This is just the cover. This is just members only, so I can't show the video, but I'm going to do it really quickly, but it just shows how connected we all are. This is Mayumi. Her first son goes to the same elementary school as my second daughter's friend's mom, and that's how I got connected to her. This is Seiko-san, the woman who made the videos. They went to the same kindergarten. YouTube videos. They went to the same kindergarten. This is me. This is Erika. She's part of a dance circle that was collaborating with Type Lab, and then her second child and my second child, we were also in the same kindergarten, so we became friends there. This is Masako. Her friends, she's friends with someone, they're in the same co-op, and that woman's first daughter and my first daughter were in the same kindergarten. That's where we met, and then she got introduced. This is Terumi. She's a friend of Asuka. Asuka was invited by Yu, who is friends with Masako. They live near each other. This is Sanae. Her third child and my first daughter were in the same elementary school class, but also her friend lives in my building, and that's how she got introduced. This is Hitomi. Hitomi is friends with Masako. This is Eri-san, the Bollywood person. She is part of the management of the Working Mothers group, and through the collaboration she was introduced to Type, and that's how Ayumi was also introduced. Yusan is Masako-san, Ayumi-san, Working Mothers group, and Asuka-san was from Yusan. This is Sachiko, who is in the same dance circle as Erika, and then coincidentally in the same class as her. This is Akiko. Her first son was in the same kindergarten as my first daughter, and that's how we met. Her first daughter and my second daughter were in the same class, and then we became friends, and then she got interested, and she's also the friend of Akane, the YouTube. So just everyone's connected through each other. So it's just this is just some of the moms, right? But there's all these relationships and connections. So yeah, that's like a FE overload. All the data on how everyone's connected. This is a little bit old, but this is the types that come to our sessions. This is our textbook for when people confirm their type. We wrote this. This is our functions book. This is our trainer workbook. This is a little bit about 16 type. So this was started 2 years ago. This is the company sessions, and the company sessions pay so much more. And this is the way that Type Lab will be sustained. This was us last month for a training that we did. What did I learn? If I just quickly summarize my learning points, and this is my last slide. FE, well, the FE, NI, SE, these were kind of natural for me. Community relationships, building that is, I think, it was so important. NI, long-term vision. Yeah, I think the last 10 years that I've been, 9 or 10 years that I've been doing this, there's not a day that I don't think that I'm not doing something for the long-term vision of building this type community, and also the importance of Ikigai. Japan has so much emphasis on your role as a mother. That's it. I mean, really living for your kids, and not your own passion or purpose in life. I mean, there's so much emphasis. So the man lives for his job, and the woman lives to raise the family. So really talking about the importance of finding your own passion for your own happiness. And then this is also, having fun, but also seeing the reality. Yeah. These parts took a lot of conscious effort, and I really think that the 8 functions are so important. This is a lifelong journey, being objective. One thing Theodora is here. Our whole team is checking out our Enneagram this month. I think from next week, right? I don't know if Theodora, but yeah. So yeah, but being objective, we've been studying type, but we also want to do a different way to do Enneagram to so we're kind of interested to see what everyone's Enneagrams are, but really always trying to be objective, and the importance of that, which also means like getting feedback from the team, being told things that I don't want to hear is important. This was really big, taking care of my own needs. Especially in terms of like payment, because I have to set my own boundaries and be like, I need to get paid as well, not just do everything for free. Because I think ENFJs who don't do this, they'll become poor. I don't want to be poor, but taking care of my own needs, emotional and also financial. This is also hard. And seeing other ways of doing things, because it's like, no, this is the only way. You got to follow these rules. Like, oh no, there's other ways. That has been hard, but important. A lot of SI. The last 2 years, my goal was SI. One important thing is conforming to Japanese societal norms. That's a thing. That's a thing that people prioritize, and I had to accept that. At first I was like, oh no, I'm not going to do that, but I have found that is so important. Also, stop changing stuff. I always want to change my content and my slides. No more changing. Just practice. Keep it. No change. And just keep getting better with the same content. Another big thing is taking care of my physical health, sleeping. These are big goals that I have to think about every single day. And then also my team, they always talk about this, like, oh, Harumi-san didn't sleep last night, things like that. So yeah, I have to really take care of that. And then TE, this is also takes so much conscious effort, but so important. Creating and enforcing rules, not just being prioritizing the relationships, but making sure the rules are there, creating a manual, creating a system, creating the courses, creating boundaries, getting paid. This was hard, but so important to do this. Also, sorry, it's not on here, but also giving feedback, not just praising people, but giving concrete feedback. So these were things that I learned, and these were natural, but these are definitely things that I needed to consciously do. And the more I did that, I started to see things really start to move. So that's it for my slides.
Okay, that's lovely, Harumi. Yeah, fantastic. So I think you'll be able to see everybody now, won't you, if you've stopped slide sharing, which is wonderful. Does anybody, I'm just wondering if I should stop recording. I should technically, I think. Yeah, I better stop. I will stop recording because some people may not want themselves to appear. But obviously we're open now for questions and discussion.